historically I always loved shoes. But I never understood sneakers as a collectible, as a community, until I went to Japan, and then coming back to New York and saying, this is the part of sneaker culture I want to be part of. I think going to different markets is really where, in the United States, obviously around the world, there's still a lot of places we want to go to. Very distant from everyone is like Alaska.
Yeah.
We would love to do something there. There's
Puppetary on the wave. Shoes off, pause, yeah, let's get it. Shoes off, but the vibes stay loud. Apothecary heat, yeah, I'm flexing in the crowd. Socks on the scene, that's a subtle little flex. Talking drip in the pod, yeah, we setting the next. Mic on fire, we vibing with the crew.
Today's guest, I am so pleased to have on the podcast. It's someone that I've wanted to have on for a minute, and we're actually doing it at his event. This is Alan Vinogradov, the co-founder, the maverick, the entrepreneur behind SneakerCon, the greatest sneaker show on earth. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Alan.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you.
Guys.
This has been, dude, like, I think I first met you in 2016, and you were kind enough to have me out at SneakerCon. And it was, at that point, that was like, especially in sneaker YouTube, that was like the coming of age moment for me.
Yeah.
And it was like, I did it, I made it. So I can't thank you enough for that experience, and that's something that I will always appreciate. So thank you for that.
It's amazing that you were part of it, and it's very early on in what's developed with sneaker culture, and then content creation. That was like the early stages of sneaker content creators. So it's a very unique time.
Absolutely. So I want to ask you, how did it all start? Like, where did let me get the whole story.
Yeah, so in 2003, my dad convinced my brother to fly to Japan.
Nice.
And my dad was never out there, but he's like, you got to go to Japan.
What was it about Japan that he liked?
It was just like a feeling that there's something out there that we're not used to in America. So my brother goes out there really just to see, explore, spends a week out there, calls me on his first day. He's like, you got to come out here with me next time. Like, you got to see this place. A few months go by, we book a trip, we go out there. We're jet lagged, walking around Shibuya. We end up in Ibisu, and we're walking around the streets. It's like 9 a.m. We've been up for almost 20 hours.
And so this is right after you landed?
Yeah, right after we landed. And we walk by a store, and it has like a sushi wheel with shoes and a rainbow carpet. And we look in there and we're like, what is this place? We've never seen this. And we look up and it's called Foot Soldier. Foot Soldier was Bathing Ape's sneaker store.
Dope.
And we walk into this, we wait. They open up their store, we walk in there, and we were just amazed. You never saw materials, Nike utilizing those type of materials. You never saw Nike going extreme with colorways, patent leather, snake skin. It just was not common for Nike. So
even how it was displayed, like the presentation.
Absolutely. Just on the sushi wheel, going around, it was like a coming of age moment. Like, you're there like, wow, I've never noticed, never seen this. An employee notices 2 American guys like, confused as hell to what they're seeing, comes out with a neighborhood Bapesta, opens it up, is like, do you want to buy this? And it was a size 14. I didn't know what I'm going to do with the size 14. My brother's like, just buy it.
Right.
Just buy it. From that moment on, we were hooked. We were addicted. We were flying out to Japan on a monthly basis. We were collecting, buying shoes, flipping shoes. I had a Bathing Ape showroom in my house.
Wow.
This is before Bape came over to New York. It was like coming out there, buying every single thing that we could get our hands on. And we were really addicted and in love with the product. And then it was like naturally transitioning into Supreme and starting to line up at Nike Town and buying certain shoes. The first release I camped out for, it was the Air Force 2 Espo.
Nice.
It was the Halle Berry Riff, Air Riff, and it was the NERD Dunk. camped out for that at Nike Town, 57th Street. Got to really see the culture. Was, historically I always loved shoes. But I never understood sneakers as a collectible, as a community, until I went to Japan, and then coming back to New York and saying, this is the part of sneaker culture I want to be part of. So that was really the gateway entry into this whole world for me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. So do you think the collectible sort of aspect of sneakers had been in Japan for a while before it kind of...
It started there in many
Gotcha.
ways. So you had the Japanese in the 90s taking out ads in newspapers saying they're buying Jordan 1s, Jordan 5s, you name it.
Really?
I have art, like, in my office, I have, like, a bunch of clippings of some of these ads.
In U.S. newspapers?
In American newspapers.
Really? And then they ship them over?
Yeah, people would sell. They're like,
Really?
hey, we're buying Jordan 5s, we're buying 1s, like, all of that stuff. So there was a real natural appreciation in Japan for a lot of this stuff. And when you would go into certain stores, you could just see the preservation of shoes was very different than anywhere in the United States.
Right.
So it really definitely was more curated there. Not to say there wasn't collectors in the US, there's always been. There's people that have, pioneered sneaker collecting here.
Right. That
People in Japan were influenced by, your DJ Clark Kents of the world.
Yes.
People were influenced by those individuals, but over there it was a lot more acceptable.
Even like the resale store model came from there.
Absolutely.
That was the early 2000s, maybe late 90s. Resale stores here, the flight clubs are, late 2000s.
For sure. So yeah, Flight Club was very influenced by Japan, how
Right.
they displayed everything, how they curated everything. That was when Flight Club came and established themselves in New York on Green Street in Soho. It was like a real special moment for sneaker culture, because there was nothing like that. There was not this curated resale stores. You had a lot of people doing resale.
Yep.
Whether it was like Fulton Mall in Brooklyn or Jamaica Queens, like you had things that resale existed, but it wasn't until Flight Club came out where it was extremely curated.
Gotcha. So how did SneakerCon start? Did you start it like in New York? Was it a small, like slowly expanding?
Yeah,
situation?
so really interesting story. We're doing an event, me, my brother, and another guy, and we just wanted to be around the culture. It was never to make money. It was never to turn it into a real business. We just liked being in an environment where people love shoes the same way we do. And what it kind of evolved into is like, hey, we really want to expand this. We want to bring this outside of New York. And we were selling shoes at the time, and it was a Nike PE it was a LeBron PE that dropped at House of Hoops, 125th Street.
Really?
For
Okay.
those that don't know, House of Hoops was a kind of joint venture between Nike and Foot Locker. They were dropping exclusive releases. So 125th Street Harlem was the epicenter for this. And one of the shoes they dropped was All-Star Game LeBron 5. We bought this pair, put it on eBay. We brought maybe 10 of these things, one to rock, one to like stock, and then the rest to like help pay for those.
Right.
And listed them on eBay, and we got posted by sneakernews.com.
Really?
And Sneaker News didn't give us credit. So we were tight. We're like, yo, we're the only guys that got this pair. Why didn't we get credit? So we emailed sneakernews.com this angry email, like, what's the deal? Why didn't you do this? He responds back, I'm sorry. It's all like, I'm a one-man team. I just started this site. And in his email, he had his address listed, and it was literally 3 blocks away from us in Chinatown,
Really?
Christie Street, from our office.
Wild.
So we're like, yo, we got to meet. We got to
Yeah.
get together.
Oh
And he's
my
like,
gosh.
cool, come through. We come through. Yu Ming's office was literally the size of what we're sitting in right now. It was tight.
Wild.
And we just talk shoes, and then we find out Yu Ming was the founder of freshnessmag.com, and then we're geeking over that. It was like that was to
That's
us
crazy.
the
I used
gateway.
to be on there. Yeah.
That was the gateway to sneaker culture for us. And then we're like, hey, we got to do an event together. And he's like, what are you guys thinking? I'm like, let's do a buy, sell, trade event for the culture, build this community even further. And he's like, let's do it. He's like, I own the domain sneakercon.com.
Nice.
So
Did he have plans to do an event with it, or
No,
he just bought
he-
it? He thought of it, bought it.
he was a
Forward
domain hoarder.
Okay.
Domain hoarder.
That's
So
awesome.
we did an event on 42nd Street, got amazing amount of support from the community and the culture.
That's incredible.
Mayor was there, DJ Clark Kent, Stash.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
really like a special moment because these are all people we looked up to in sneaker culture.
Yeah.
And to have them all in the same room was really showed how close knit this community is.
How
Right.
big was that first show?
It wasn't it was surprising to us. It wasn't a small event. There was about 3,000 people that came.
Wow. How did you
Wow.
market that?
It was all word of mouth.
Yeah.
Just
Really?
we were lining up for every release.
I knew you.
Yeah, everybody. We knew everyone we knew everyone that was outside in the culture,
Right.
like out there.
Right.
So we were always talking to people and building that
And
relationship.
what year was this?
This was in 2009.
Okay.
9. Okay.
Had there been other? I'm so sorry. Had there been other sneaker stores or sneaker events
Yeah,
before
actually, I was
this?
gonna.
Yeah. So this was the first sneaker con that we did.
Gotcha.
We did a local, like New York City event, which
Gotcha.
was separate from what SneakerCon became.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I remember going up to, because I lived in Philly, going up to New York for another sneaker show that doesn't exist anymore, Sneaker Pimps.
Yep.
I think it was like more of like a concert, like
Yeah.
it wasn't like really buy sell trade. It was just kind of like a group meetings. This
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like 2007, maybe 8. I
Yeah,
don't
at the
remember the exact
Limelight.
years.
They did one at the Limelight.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. That was we were there also. That was a great event.
So yeah, and then they came to Philly once.
Yep.
And it was really cool. I didn't like. That was like I was into sneakers, but like that was the first time like meeting these people I was talking to on
Yeah.
ISS and Nike Talk.
Yeah, so funny enough, the first time we were exposed to Sneaker Pimps, we just happened to be in Japan when they were holding an event.
Wow.
So we got to meet, it was a guy by the name of Peter, and he was like super gracious, and he had a partner from Hong Kong, and we really we just loved the sneaker community. So it was really great to see those type of events happening and people gathering for them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when did you do a bunch of events, SneakerCon events in New York first, and then it slowly expanded, or was it?
Yeah, so really fascinating. We were lining up with a guy that became, family, and he was intern for a store by the name of Dr. J's. And Dr. J's
remember Dr.
was,
J's.
it was an urban boutique all over the city. And, he's a great guy, very, very supportive of what we were doing. And his name's Juice. He ends up connecting with Adidas, like, hey, you guys got to come to SneakerCon.
Right.
And Adidas is like, we never heard of this. We're there. So Adidas starts participating at SneakerCon. They're displaying all the Jeremy Scott collection. They become they're lasering stuff at events. We have a bunch of collab merch we were doing with them. It was a really exciting time. And they come to us one day and they're like, listen, we know you guys are from New York, but there's a lot more to sneaker culture than New York. We're very stubborn. We're even then, we're like, we're not, if it's not Tokyo or New York, we're not going. And then they were like, no, you guys want to go outside of New York. So we end up doing an event. Our next event was in Washington, D.C.
Dope.
And it was all because of Adidas pushing us.
Dope.
And the amount of support we got in D.C. was unbelievable.
And when was this the year? I'm just trying to map this out.
I might be off just because we've done
There's
so
so many.
much, but I would want to say it was 2013.
So you were in New York doing them for many years,
Yes.
maybe 5 years.
Yes.
Was it
4
a
years.
yearly thing, or was it every couple months? Or?
The first event we did one that year, and then the next one we would do 2 to 3 a year.
Oh, cool.
In New York.
Cool.
For 4 years before moving out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then, we end up doing DC, and it was really amazing because we met new people that are some of whom are still vendors with us today.
Right.
People traveling with us, a lot of athletes showing up, and it was just like a whole new world opened up to us.
Yeah.
Where we were like, wow, we should bring SneakerCon all over the country. And Adidas was that kind of kick to really get that going. And they participated with us for quite some time to do that.
That's amazing. Were they? So I'm assuming you've always been sort of a Nike guy.
Growing up, Nikes was definitely something that, you know, was everywhere. Growing up in Brooklyn, everyone's wearing Nike. You know, I was wearing as a kid 95s. I was wearing, you know, Jordan 8s was my first pair of shoes. 13s, I remember sitting in class like trading my 13s for the kid next to me. Like, it's always been a big part of my life. But now as I'm getting older, there's a lot more appreciation for every brand, and every brand that brings their own kind of unique element to sneaker culture.
That makes sense. What's your current go-to sneaker at the moment? All right, you have so many. I mean, I'm sure your collection's ridiculous. But
I think like 95s are the easiest for me to like wear and just kind of.
Which color is your?
My go-to 95. I just got this. I had it sitting on ice and I just broke it out for this trip. But it's this white and red pair.
Dope.
Where, you know, it's like a really just clean, and everybody's like, yo, is that limited? I'm like, no, I bought these for like $90 like 4 years ago, and I just broke out with them now.
Nike's been pushing the 95 this year.
This year's been crazy.
Yeah, it's been a lot of 95s. I mean, my grail is the Air Force 2, Espo. That Espo Air Force 2, that's my grail.
Do you still have a pair?
I had a pair, it's torn apart, like completely. It's not wearable.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So after DC, what was the next? Did you go back and forth between DC
So
and New York for a while?
DC, Miami.
Dope.
After that was Chicago, and it was just, you know, when I tell you like, sneaker culture is a very unique world because people are really supportive.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people understand that. There's obviously, you know, a financial component to it, but people that love sneaker culture find a way to be part of it. And if it means reselling, creating a brand, creating content, they want to figure out a way to be part of it. It's a real love for this. And as we traveled, we started understanding that even more. So we go to Chicago, we go to DC, and then people are like, yeah, you guys are going wherever you go, I'm traveling with you. So we built this vendor base that's really phenomenal, that's traveling all over the country with us. And really supporting what we're doing, which has been a blessing. And also being able to come out and do the event where thousands of people show up and support this community is such a great thing to see.
Totally. How has the event changed from the initial 2009 to like where you were at, like sort of, I guess, 2013 sort of time frame, besides just different locations? Was it?
Yeah, so going from city to city was unique, but we always had like this New York core vendor base, right?
Dope.
And then from 2009 to 2013, as we start traveling, we have different people coming out
From different cities,
and now it's like it's not just a local event. It's people from all over the country kind of meeting and gathering.
Right.
But what really started evolving kind of 2013 into 2016 is people just started bringing tons of shoes to the event. Like, forget about the vendors. It was like, you know, any attendee was able to bring endless amount of sneakers. And we would have vendors set up and people just literally plopping their stuff right in front of the vendor. And people were like, look, you know, we love the event, but how is this okay? Like,
right.
So we really wanted to open up the show for every sneakerhead, no matter if you had one pair, 10,000 pairs, doesn't matter to us. So we created something called the Trading Pit, where we wanted to encourage people to bring their shoes into this area. So that was kind of the evolution into it. And then beyond that, we started bringing out a lot of the people that were influential in the industry, whether it was Don C when the
Yep.
Jordan 2 dropped, whether it was Penny when the foam posits were being really reinforced in the market again, or Nick Diamond when they dropped the SB, the Tiffany High.
Yep.
You know, we were always trying to bring out pillars in the community, and that was kind of the evolution from that point.
Yeah.
And then from 2016 and beyond, we're just like, we got to go international.
That's
So
awesome.
that's when we started going out to London, to Tokyo, to China, you know, you name it. We were like, hey, we're going to come here. We're going to do the event. Hamburg, Germany, you know, Berlin. We've done Melbourne. We've done Sydney, Australia. We've been all over the world.
What's been one of your favorite spots that you didn't expect would be a spot that you liked as much as you did, like another location, or another, I guess either it could be a city in the U.S. or even somewhere internationally?
So
For
we did
sneaker
an
culture
event.
or just like personal favorites?
For sneaker, like going out, you go out for sneaker con, and there's something about it you just love that you didn't expect.
The one place in the world that I did not expect to have the event that we had was in, this is in order, it would probably be Guangzhou, China.
Yeah, wow.
That's number one. Number two is in the US, it would be Denver, Colorado.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that I just didn't expect what we were able, and the type of community that's built there. And then the third one is probably Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Those are
Toronto's
three
That surprised you about the turnouts?
super surprised turnout, the level of like passion and the type of collectors, the grails I was finding in some of these places. Like going to Guangzhou, guys have so many pairs like that you just wouldn't expect to see.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
one event, sneaker con, that we went to that surprised me was Hawaii.
Yes.
Yeah,
The venue was small, but like the heat on feet was like, I was like, whoa, what? No way. Like everywhere.
You know, when you go to some of these places, you just have people that really love
Yeah.
shoes. It does not matter, and everyone congregates, and they're gonna want to bring out some of their best.
Yeah.
And it's like you're almost tapping a whole new, like, it's like when you go to a new thrift store and you realize there's so much heat here. It's like these places have never had a big sneaker event like this, so these people have never brought out their shoes.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a good point as well. That's a good point as
awesome.
well.
Do you find yourself picking up a lot of pairs at sneaker events, or have you slowed down a little bit? Or?
It depends. You know, some cities, like, if I see somebody with like crazy stuff, I'll go crazy. But other events, I try and like, I'm flying to China on Sunday, so
wow.
I'm trying not to like buy. I haven't looked around for any shoes, but some guy I want the SB95, so I might just
cactus
end up,
flowers?
yeah, I might
Oh,
just pick
beautiful.
those up before.
Good travel shoe. It's comfy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what? Because you do so many events now. Are you literally traveling? Do you go direct from event to event? Do you go home for a little bit? Like, how does
Yeah,
that all work?
always go home. You know, we have like such a tight schedule, but when we go home, we're doing a lot of planning. We have a great team.
That's awesome.
We have people that are located across the country, and we have some people globally as well. And you know, we have a team that's like really trying to reinforce the community and the things that we find to be unique about sneaker culture.
Right.
So it's important for us to always spend time together and continue just building what we're building here.
This episode of the Shoes Off podcast is brought to you by Apothecary. Now, obviously, Apothecary is the best socks out there. Not obviously, but I think if you
It's your
haven't tried it, you
sneaker's favorite
should.
stock as well.
Right here, we're actually at the Apothecary booth. We've got the brand new Apothecary Good Days Gallery Kai Somar collab sock dropping exclusively at SneakerCon. So
They're
this
probably
episode's-
gone by the time you watch this, but
Absolutely. But hey, if you haven't tried Apothecary socks yet, maybe you can grab these on the resale market or check out the rest of our insane sock selection
we
on
drop new
apothecary.com.
collections every week.
That's right. Every week, limited collections. They move quick, be quick. We also have essentials, which look great with everything that you rock in your collection because it's a bunch of different colors that are super wearable, match with your sneakers. They're breathable because of our
Soft.
ISO weave. Incredibly soft. What's your favorite sock that we have in store at the moment?
Oh man, I really like the camo, but I think those
Those might be gone.
gone. I'm not sure if we still
They
have
might be
them.
gone. My personal favorite, I think, is I'm gonna pick one that I think might still be in stock, and I think it's the Flame socks.
Oh yeah.
The
No,
flame
me
socks.
too.
I
Black
love
or white
those.
flame?
White Flame.
Same.
White Flame. And it's only because I like white socks more. And what's crazy is he convinced me. I used to like black socks more. Now I like white socks more.
Oh, I'm glad
there you
you
I came around.
you told the truth.
But guys, as always, if you want to try out Apothecary socks for the first time ever, make sure to use code SHOESOFF for $10 off of your first purchase. That's code SHOESOFF. Check out Apothecary on apothecary.com.
That's a crazy deal. That's like, I don't know, like 80% off or something.
Yeah, like a sock is $15, so
You do
$10
the math.
off. Yeah,
We're
Great deal.
good at making socks, not math.
Absolutely. Check it out. So from that sort of time period, like the 2013, I think the first sneaker con I went to ever, before I did YouTube, was 2015 at the Javits Center. I was customizing sneakers. Yes, 2015 was the first one I went to, and it was a wild experience for me because I met Mosh. And at the time, I mean, Mosh is still incredible, but like at the time, like being a customizer just on Instagram with like maybe 500 followers, like that was meeting like the guy. He was customizing for LeBron at the time and things like that. So for me, and I think I was living in New York too, for me SneakerCon was truly that, like, same way that it was for Osman, I guess Sneaker Pimps initially was for Osman, realizing that there is this huge community of people outside of just online, on Twitter, you know, Nike Talk, things like that. Like that's been probably my favorite part about SneakerCon. It's so cool that you can put that together.
Did I go with you with that one or the next year?
It was the next one.
Because that was my first, I guess, 2016 SneakerCon.
Also Javits, I think, right? Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, those were really unique events, and you know, we were, you know, sneaker culture at that time was really interesting, right? Because
it was like the Yeezys and the
you had kind of the birth of social media sneaker community, right?
Yep.
You know, everything was on Instagram, and people were sharing content around shoes. This never existed. Everybody was doing the fit pics, and everything was so curated. So it was a really interesting time, and the releases at that time were also really amazing.
Yeah.
And the type of product that was coming out during that period.
Absolutely. So I've always wanted to know this, because as a YouTuber, what was the push for you to start inviting YouTubers out? Like what was that decision?
So one of the biggest things was when we did an event in the Bay Area, and it was, I want to say 2015. It was a beautiful venue we had. It was called the Craneway Pavilion. And you know, it was a really relatively small event. You know, it was probably our smallest event we've ever done to that point, because it was the night of Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. And that was like doing an event during the Super Bowl, right? Like that's, everyone's priority was so different. But the one big takeaway on that was there was some guy with a really awesome Nike ID, and we took a photo of it and we posted it up, and everyone was tagging this guy, like endless tagging, and it was Kai Somar. And I was
That's crazy.
I
Full
was like,
circle moment.
yeah, I was like, wow, that's like pretty amazing that, you know, people want us to know who had this pair.
Right.
Like we had no idea who this guy was wearing this specific pair, but a lot of people in the culture knew. And then Kais ended up coming out to another event, and you know, he was the voice in the room, was like, yo, bring together the content creators. Like, we want to be in a room together. We want to be showing off what the sneaker culture is about. And he was definitely the individual to like drive that and push us to make those decisions.
That's awesome. I had no idea.
Yeah, he was really the reason why many content
really
creators became a big part of what SneakerCon is.
Did you know when you started having influencers out how big? Like I remember specifically, like in 2016 I was very small, like 8,000 subscribers, but I'd look up to people like Kais, like It's Teddy, like I'm trying to think of all the other big, like Cousteau. Like, did you know that there would be that much almost hysteria around these huge YouTubers?
No, it wasn't. It didn't really like become something we understood as like at the moment, like something that people would put a lot of value on. We looked at them as like sneaker guys sharing their stories, right? Sharing what they're doing. So when these individuals came into the room and really drove that energy, we wanted to create a platform where, you know, they could double down, and whether it was dropping merch or doing other interesting things that we did with Kais and many others, like we wanted to embrace it. So we didn't expect that to be something that existed in the sneaker community. but it was really the gateway in many ways of what's become, right?
Yeah. People
People starting brands like yourself and people creating stores and building their own footwear.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty awesome to be part of all of that.
Definitely. And just, I mean, for me, like, the first time I met anyone in Sneaker UC was SneakerCon. Like that 2016 event where you had everyone out. And for me, that was another, like, huge moment for me. Like, not to talk about myself, but, like, I really have to give you, like, truly, like, I think you're the reason, well, SneakerCon as a whole, like, the whole team are like, a reason, I think, why we're at where we're at. Like, the brand
Sure.
wouldn't, I mean, I won't say the brand wouldn't be here, but the brand would definitely be different. Like, I think our lives would be incredibly different if it wasn't for the event, and it's really cool to kind of, like, look back and be like, wow, like, you really had a huge part of that, so I really appreciate it.
No, thank you. And it's you and everyone else that supported us. Like, I remember calling you like, hey, we're going to Shanghai. You want to come?
That's the first time I met the Fung Bros. That's the first time I met. That was great.
Yeah, you're like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. And that was another reason why we really wanted to embrace that part of sneaker culture,
Yeah.
the creators, is because I think the sneaker creator is anything that's good for the sneaker culture, they're going to embrace.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the same goes for every other industry, but I know in our industry, people that create content around shoes, if you're doing something sneaker related, there's really an openness to be part of it. So
Right.
that was another reason why we were so excited about it, because
Right.
it was so easy to deal with a lot of those guys.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah. What's it like running an event? I can't imagine. Like, there's so many moving pieces.
Yeah.
Just even here, like, we're here sort of at the end of the event. People are taking down. I don't know if our editor left in the announcements, but like, there's so much going on.
So many people.
Like,
The
it's-
operations and logistics are
Yep.
just give me a headache thinking about. So
No, we have a great team, and that's a big blessing for us that we have people that are really dedicated to creating the best experience possible. I think the sneaker world is obviously very unique, so when we go into places, it needs to be done a certain way.
Right.
We have a platform that is an open platform for young people that are trying to come up in the sneaker culture, older guys trying to get rid of their collection. We don't discriminate against anyone. We really want to create an open platform for everyone. So, some people are different. They operate differently, and there could be challenges with, just loading in vendors. There's
Yeah.
people that are like, hey, I didn't have money to take out a table, so I'm going to bring 100 pairs through the door. And, and those are things that come with the territory.
Yeah.
But it is a really fun experience. It is a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it is very rewarding when after an event you had so many people that, created new relationships, built new business ideas, done a lot of stuff outside of sneakers as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
really positive things that impact their life.
Yeah.
absolutely.
What's been like one problem that you didn't realize was gonna be a problem, then you were able to solve? Like, I'm sure there's a million different things, logistically, like marketing. Like, have there been like any just huge
Like a hurdle
hurdles?
that you had to overcome.
Yeah.
I think it's like constantly dealing with stuff that might be out of our control. Whether it's an incident that happens off property that we just, we had a vendor that, product went missing, and dealing with stuff that's outside of our control, because we don't run
Right.
away from that.
Right.
We deal with it. But at the end of the day, those are the things that are difficult, right? Now, if there's things that happen that are in our control, and these incidents, that's either negligence on us or a lack of understanding. And we've learned so much doing this, so those incidents are very limited. But the things that are outside of what we can do are the ones that are the hardest, but we'll confront them all. We will never run away. We'll never not support. We'll never not come up with solutions. We'll always be there, because everyone that participates here is really part of the sneaker family.
Totally.
Where do you see like the future of SneakerCon? Like what changes or like things do you want to grow into?
For sure. So, we've always had a desire for brand participation at SneakerCon. I don't think that's ever going to come because I think there's a lack of understanding of who's coming through those doors.
Right.
They don't understand that people come to SneakerCon with the real passion to learn about shoes, buy sneakers they don't have access to, and most importantly, like, understand who's the Stan Lee of sneaker culture.
Yeah.
Right? Marvel never hid Stan Lee from the public's eye. They've always embraced them. They
Right.
put them in movies. Nike, Adidas, you don't know who's designing for them. They hide their top creators. They don't interact them in the culture. They don't bring them out. They might do one event a year where they do some cool stuff, but we're traveling all over the world, and there's opportunities for brands to step in
Yeah.
and create unique stuff. So we're sitting there and we're kind of self-starters. So we're looking at it like, hey, we may not be able to have an A6 drop at SneakerCon, even though Vandy the Pink might show up and
Yeah.
do his thing.
Yep.
He was here.
But, you know, we're going to get the Godzilla IP. We're going to call up Nikki Diamond, say, hey, let's create a slide. We're going to drop it at the event. We're going to sell out of every single pair.
Yep.
And you know what? It's creating unique moments for the next generation of sneakerheads.
That's awesome.
You know, we had during COVID, just to touch on that a bit, we were stuck at home, couldn't produce events.
I
We
didn't
just
think
got
of
back from the biggest event we've ever done in Guangzhou.
Right.
And, you know, we're sitting at home and saying, like, hey, we got to do something. And it just so happened that eBay really wanted to launch an authentication business. They reached out to us. Took us about a year from the first conversation to authenticate our first shoe in November of 2020.
Okay.
We authenticated our first pair. 6 months later, authenticated 2 million pairs for eBay globally.
Wow.
And then eBay was really happy with the infrastructure we built for them and the setup that came to exist. They ended up buying that business from SneakerCon.
Wow. That's amazing.
So, you know, now we're kind of like looking at what other authentication technologies can be introduced in the space
Yeah.
that can add additional layers of safeguards and guardrails for the culture
Yeah.
of sneakers, but also beyond sneakers. Streetwear has a lot of authentication issues, and we're on the forefront. We're investing a lot of money to really figure out ways and developing our own technologies. So
That's awesome.
we got something that we've been building for quite some time that we're actually going to be debuting at the U.S. Embassy in China.
No way.
Yeah, so we're traveling out to China to do that.
Is this
That's
beyond
awesome.
sneakers? Or is it sneaker related?
Sneakers is always the core, right?
Right.
But what we've developed goes beyond shoes.
Wow.
But sneakers is always going to be like on our, because we think sneakers is the barometer for everything, right?
Right.
It's one of the only unique products that at a certain price point that people have to use every day.
Right.
It's something that people have a relationship with. They know their sneakers. They know what they were wearing during certain moments of their life. Like,
Right.
so we have so much value on that, but that barometer also spills over into other elements of life, right? So if there's a component that, you know, our authentication technology can positively impact, we're going to be more than happy to embrace it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's incredible. That's such a cool next step, I think, and it's something that I think all sneakerheads could use because fakes are getting so hard to tell the difference of.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And it's like you think there's always like little things that you can sort of tell, but like then the factory fixes those things
Yeah.
and then it's like a whole new.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these factories are creating fakes by hand.
Right.
The same people that are authenticating are able to create fakes.
Yeah.
And in some cases, they're being produced in the same factories that real pairs are being produced by the same people that produce real pairs. So
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said in a world where, you know, today there's so much counterfeits in the market. There's
Yeah.
over $800 billion worth of counterfeits in all sectors of the consumer that are being imported into the United States. And within the next 10 years, it's going to grow to over $1 trillion.
Wow.
So it's a
Wow.
big problem, and we think we have some methods that could create some safeguards.
That's awesome.
That's sick.
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
I know you're kind of safeguarding it, but I'm very curious.
Yeah, no, we'll share a lot in the coming months. We're gonna start implementing into our own products, and
Nice.
then hopefully into a lot lot of other stuff as well.
That's really cool.
That's awesome. How did a lot of the, so you mentioned eBay, and I know there's an eBay booth over there, and then you've got TikTok Shop and
sure.
Monster. You're working with a lot of big brands.
Yeah.
Like how did that all come about?
A lot of it has been a little bit on the organic side, I would want to say, because we do outreach, but usually when we do outreach, it's taken the wrong way, and companies may not see value in what we do. We've been fortunate where certain people from TikTok Shop, there's a gentleman named Melvin who
We met him.
has become
Incredible.
friends and family of SneakerCon, just came to SneakerCon in Coney Island and was like, I'm here to meet people. And we just kicked it off, and it really kind of the relationship built. Everything here has been relationship based. Even eBay, it's been a long-standing relationship. They participated at some of those Javits shows that you mentioned.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's been a long-standing thing. Even Monster, they kicked off with us. It was like 2018. They reached out like, hey, we want to do an event with you.
That's cool.
And we're like, yeah, pull up.
Yeah.
And they're like, we love this. We'll be at every single one. That's kind of how it worked out. So it's
amazing.
relationship based. It's really kind of building with people and developing a level of trust where they feel comfortable investing their time more than money, because with events, as you guys know, it's the travel, it's kind of the back and forth, it's lugging stuff around. There's so many components to it. It's not just as simple as showing up and leaving.
Yeah.
Right.
We wished.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And it's also like just, I mean, shoot, I had a daughter a year and a half ago. Like,
Oh, no way. Congrats.
thank
I
you so
didn't
much.
know.
I appreciate
didn't know.
it. Yeah. It's shoot, I don't know how, like, it must be tough leaving family and friends a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it really must
absolutely.
be. Like, it's something that I didn't understand until I had a daughter. And I was like, before I'd love traveling, I was like, this is great. I'll go to every SneakerCon all the time. But now I'm like, shoot, like, I miss being home all the time. I'll go to the office and I'm like, I don't want to be in the office, man. I want to be with my daughter.
No, that's definitely a big component of all this, you know. And we hit the show on the road, and a lot of my team, when we started this, nobody had kids.
Right.
A lot of kids have been born, and a lot of different priorities take place in everyone's life. But we're fortunate enough with the team that people are very passionate about this and want to see this grow. And there's a good work-life balance that we try and create for people to just embrace what their job is and to work together to build that best experience.
I mean, it's an incredibly appealing job opportunity, I think, because you're traveling to all these different places that you'd never be able to go to.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming, like, if they're employees, they're probably getting flown out to all these crazy places.
Saudi
like going
Arabia
to,
and
That was
London.
wild.
And
Yep.
Having no kids, I still love to travel. So you just let me know.
If you ever have a job when we get SneakerCon, let it know.
Yeah, we got Nagoya coming up, and so.
Is there a city or a place that isn't on the map yet, or isn't you haven't gone to yet that you'd really love to go to?
I think there's a lot of places in the United States that we still haven't done events in that we really are just curious, like, what is it going to be like?
Right.
Whether it's St. Louis or
interesting.
Indianapolis or...
Like the smaller, or maybe not smaller, but...
Yeah, it's just, you'd be surprised, right? Like, we went to Denver, and it's such a huge, massive show. We do events in Seattle, huge, massive show. I think going to different markets is really where, in the United States, obviously around the world, there's still a lot of places we want to go to.
Right.
We want to do an event, again, it's in the United States, but very distant from everyone is like Alaska.
Yeah.
We would love to do something there. There's a huge military presence, military.
I'd be curious of the sneaker culture out there.
Yeah, the
I have no
military guys
idea.
love sneaker culture, right? They embrace it more than anyone. So we're considering those type of things and trying to always do something new.
It's wild that you say that because like we do. I mean, we sell socks to mainly sneakerheads, and a lot of our orders will be to military bases in like Guam. Or
Yeah.
like,
You can see their like APO address.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, it's
yeah,
going to a
yeah.
base.
Yeah.
we did a Rolex giveaway 2 years ago, and the winner was in Guam, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
oh
wow.
my goodness, how are we gonna get there?
Yeah, I was gonna fly like just because I love to travel.
It was
I was
a-
gonna like hand deliver it, and then I went to Guam, which is like I don't know, 17-hour plane. I'm like, okay, we'll just mail it.
Yeah, that'd be really cool to do an event somewhere like
Yeah.
that. I think that'd be awesome. Yeah, that's
no,
cool.
for sure. Yeah, we think it's like the U.S. has a lot still. You know,
Yeah.
the U.S. is the main kind of hub for sneaker culture,
Yeah.
and it's all over our country. I'm
Yeah.
never surprised when we
Yeah.
go to a city. It's not just in big cities; it's all over. You know, we did El Paso, Texas
No way, I
before.
didn't know that.
Yeah, and it was
awesome.
like amazing to see like sneaker culture exists and it's thriving there.
So what makes you decide to go back to a city? So like say maybe you go to a city and is it just not, is it the turnout? Like maybe people aren't as interested as you thought and you're like, oh, maybe we'll go to somewhere close but not the same city? Like what's your sort of deciding factor?
I think we're very consistent in trying to make it work in cities.
Gotcha.
You know, we've done events in a lot of places where it didn't work out right away.
Right.
But we stuck by it, whether it's like a Detroit. You know, it's not our biggest show, but we're very committed to it, and we're
Yeah.
going to continue going back there and continue trying to build something there. Or it's a place like, you know, Houston. Houston has been a difficult market for us,
Right.
and then this year that was our biggest show that
Wow.
we
Wow.
did, and it took
Wow.
quite some time to kind of break through and. You know, where all the stars aligned and worked out. So you just never know, and we just really try and stay consistent enough where when we do these shows that people just pull up.
Right.
Are there cities that are like instant hits that you know, like, oh, it's
Of course, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Was Philly one of them?
Philly was
Yeah.
an amazing one.
the Philly one gets crowded. I mean,
Yeah.
there's like I remember I think the first year in Philly, like maybe 2 years ago or last year, the line was like 3-4 city blocks long.
Yeah, that was probably the first one we did in Philly.
I was like, well, yeah,
that was a
wild.
crazy event, and you know, for us, like Philly's New York's little brother, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like
You're like, why go to Philly? They
Yeah.
can just come to New York.
Yeah.
But when we went to Philly, I've always loved going to Philly.
Yeah.
You know, I just love being there. It's a great experience. So when we did the event, it was pretty amazing, right? Because you
Yeah.
had people from all over the East Coast just pull up, and really unique convergence of people from Pennsylvania and you know, Maryland, Delaware. It was really an awesome experience. That is one of my like favorite cities to be a part of.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. And it's because we're there, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
That was I was kind of shocked when that first Philly event. Like it
Yeah.
really was truly like a what. I mean, to be fair, like I really got into sneakers in Philly. Like that's where I really came about. And it's Austin put me on like the Buy Sell Facebook group or Buy Sell Fresh Kicks Philly Facebook group. And then I moved to New York for a couple years, and there was never really a Facebook group like that in New York. And so I always knew that Philly had like a strong community.
Yep.
But then seeing it all turn out at SneakerCon Philly was like, wow, it's really.
Yep.
So okay, getting into sneakers a little bit, like for me personally, I know that with YouTube, it's very reliant on sneaker releases. Do you find that some like maybe some years are slower than others because there just isn't a lot of sneaker releases going on, or they're just not as like?
Look, I think right now you got a crazy amount of sneakers being released, but what you don't have is you don't have the storytelling. You don't have the collectible nature.
Yeah.
You have overlap of shoes, and it doesn't make sense of what is this? What am I looking at? Why is this dropping?
Yeah.
And you don't have the curation that goes into people being excited about sneaker collecting.
Yeah.
So I think this year has been like the prime example of that.
Yeah.
We've had very few pieces to really excite us as sneaker collectors,
Right.
but I think there's a lot more to come from other brands. You know,
Right.
I'm principally talking about Nike and what
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of brands are trying to be more prevalent in the marketplace in a unique way.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you look at what Slahy's doing with Crocs and with Puma. You look at what
Absolutely.
Stephen Smith is eventually going to do with Crocs. We'll see what it is.
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
what I've seen from him is going to be amazing.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
He was like, I might bring it because we filmed a pod with him earlier. I don't know how far apart these will be, but he showed us like a picture. Like I might wear these later. I'm like,
Yeah, we saw some pictures on his phone.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
it's crazy.
Steven's been amazing. He's like
Yeah.
one of the most humblest guys I've met
I know.
in
Yeah.
this culture. He's created so much foundation, and
He's
know
one
now
of the goats.
Yeah,
in
he
this-
is. He is
yeah.
the legend.
Yeah.
He is a legend, and we're really blessed to have a relationship with him. And what he does for the sneaker culture is phenomenal.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what would you say? Because I'm sure you've got an insane sneaker collection because you've had years of collecting. I mean, you've been to Japan collecting before people were really into the culture the way that it is now. You go to a sneaker event every weekend, so you're seeing the craziest stuff.
Yep.
Do you still have the neighborhood Babestas?
I
Size
don't.
14.
I don't. I
No?
don't.
Oh.
That was used to fund like the next trip to
Okay.
Japan.
That funded that's crazy.
That
Sorry,
was
I
like
didn't
the
mean to
next
interrupt your
one. It was like,
question,
all right, I got to come out here.
Yeah.
Size 14 is never gonna fit. We got to sell this, and we got to get out here again.
That's
so
dope.
those funds were used to get out to Japan, buy more shoes ultimately. But yeah.
That's cool.
What would you say? Because I know people are going to be interested in this part. I know it's not. What do you say? What do you think are the 5 craziest or 3 craziest sneakers you have in your collection in terms of like?
Sure you have
Pretty easy. So one of the pairs is a 1985 Jordan 1 sample. One is a 13, the other's a 13 and a half, signed by MJ.
Wow.
Made for MJ. The second pair is a 88 Jordan 3 white cement, game used by MJ, signed by MJ. And probably the third one is a 1989 cement 4, game worn and signed by MJ.
Are these like on display or are they just tucked away, hidden?
Super hidden.
in a-
I haven't
Yeah.
looked at them
safe.
forever.
do you have more game? Like I know I just asked for the top 3, but do you have like more stuff like that?
A bunch of Kobe stuff, a lot of that, really like there was a moment where for me as someone that loves shoes, where I would buy certain pairs and Nike would re-release them.
Yeah.
And it would really discourage me because I just don't wear a lot of the stuff. I mess up all my shoes, so I would feel extremely guilty to wear something.
Yeah.
So a lot of this stuff started re-releasing.
Yeah.
And a lot of it became not meaningful. Like they dropped the LeBron graffitis, right?
Yep. And they're just sitting in outlets now.
Yeah, you remember the LeBron graffitis was the pair. Like
was.
that was a holy grail.
Yep.
So stuff like that was very discouraging to see, where I was like, what can I buy? Let me sell a lot of my stuff and buy the stuff that can never be remade.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I mean, like, seeing just some of the numbers that stuff was selling for in Sotheby's, like the 2020s of like anything signed Michael, game worn nonetheless. That's
That's
do you
like retirement money.
yeah. Do you ever get tempted to just like sell it and just be like,
Not really, because these are things that mean a lot to
Right.
me, and I love sneaker culture, and to have some of those things.
they're truly like a one of one. Like you're
Yeah.
never gonna be able to get anything like
Yeah.
that ever again.
You won't. And also, like, there's other stuff in my collection, like the Michael Lau Nike SB in the brown box with, stuff like that. I have a lot of value for, and
Right.
Supreme Stars. Those are things that were like part of my journey. So
Yeah.
I have stuff like that in the collection. But my collection isn't like crazy like a mayor's collection, right? Like
I mean,
mean,
it sounds pretty crazy.
I mean, does Mayor have signed worn Michael Jordan?
Mayor
might
has
have
crazy,
one, but not-
crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
like-
I'm not on.
Yeah.
I'm not on those guys' like.
think
Those guys are
You're just
the
maybe not as
elite.
public with it.
Those guys are elite sneaker collectors and enthusiasts.
Fair.
I can't.
It's
like,
cool. It's cool that you say like you're not gonna sell it because of the meaning. And my sneaker collection, although it's ebbed and flowed, and nowhere near as valuable as probably one of those pairs, I can't sell it. Like I
For
hate
sure.
that how much space it takes. But I like each pair. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just give them to Seth. He's gonna sell them on whatnot or whatever, or to
Yep.
And I'm like, I can't. I remember when I got that.
For sure.
I remember
for
the
sure.
whole story. I remember waiting. It's worth nothing. I'll probably get like $20 for it, but I remember.
Yep.
And I'm like, I can't get rid of it.
Yeah, we got that hoarder mentality, right? The reality is, it's like we attach these stories, like,
Yeah.
oh, I wore those, and
I
like,
wore those in 6th grade.
I
I'm
have like 200 pairs of beach shoes just sitting in a room that I'll never ever wear,
Right.
Yeah.
and that are worthless. But I'm like, oh, I wore this when I went on this trip. I met this person with this pair on. Like, you attach
Yeah.
a meaning to this
That's
stuff.
literally, like Seth asked me, he's like, just sell them. Like, put them up and sell them.
Because they're sitting all behind his couch, like in the middle of his
And they
living
take
room.
up so much space.
And he's very clean person. So seeing this walking in is shocking.
Yeah, the
You're
box
like,
is all crooked and like, you know, like how cardboard. And he's like, he tells me every time he sees it, just sell, like, get rid of them. You don't even you wear the same shoes every day. I'm like, I can't. Like, I go through it, I open one box, I'm like, I need that.
Yeah, no, it's the reality of, like, you know, when you go down the rabbit hole of sneakers, there's a lot of stories to them,
Yeah.
and you know, you want to preserve those moments, and they're conversation pieces, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Shoot, I don't want to take you too long.
Yeah,
It
this
looks
has
like
been awesome.
This has been really cool. I'd love to have you on again if you're
For
ever
sure,
free.
for
maybe
sure.
we can
No,
come
I
up
love
to
it.
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I love talking shoes. It's a real passion of mine. You know, unfortunately, we do a lot more event talk in my office now than sneaker talk.
Right.
So it's always great to talk shoes, and you know, we really appreciate you guys and for what
Thanks
you
so
do,
much.
and all the years and the relationship we built. Very grateful for that. So thank you for
We are
doing
too.
this, and thank
Yeah,
you for
yeah.
Thank you.
being out here with us.
We love being
Absolutely.
invited, getting
For
the
sure.
text from you. saying,
Yeah, it's
you know,
like, and the only time we don't go is it's like, oh shoot, I've
Yeah.
been gone, or like Austin's like broke his ankle. Oh my gosh, whole thing.
actually, I don't know if you remember this. Real quick, we can wrap. But I was like, can you keep our banner? And then you're like, I was like, we're going to go to a bunch more. Like, maybe 2 weeks later,
was
I
2
broke
weeks later.
my ankle. I was out
no.
for like 3 months.
This is the first time he's flown since
Oh, wow.
that happened.
Yeah.
Because the plan was originally we were gonna like have a presence at every single one, whether it's
Yeah.
Osman, whether it's me, whether it's
Yeah,
somebody.
for sure.
But that really threw a
Yeah.
wrench in things. That really threw a
Now
wrench
we'll
in
get
things.
back to
Yeah.
it.
We
We'll
would
get
love
back
to.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Well, thank you so much for being on.
Awesome.
Alan,
Thank
it's
you,
been a
guys.
pleasure.
Really appreciate
I really
you guys.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything.
Guys, make sure to come to SneakerCon if you haven't yet. It is truly the world's greatest sneaker show.
At SneakerCon on Instagram.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sure you guys already know.
Yeah, all links in
Appreciate
the
you
description
guys.
below.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.